Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something truly powerful, something that touches the core of faith, hope, and divine timing. If you're standing on the brink of a breakthrough, feeling the stirrings of change in your life, then listen closely. Because when God is about to bless a woman with something big, she will see these 7 signs. And understanding these signs can transform your perspective, your patience, and your readiness to receive the blessings that are already on their way. When God is preparing to bless a woman with something big, the first sign she often overlooks is the subtle but unmistakable presence of divine signs that begin to show up in her life. These signs aren't loud or obvious in the way we might expect. Rather, they are gentle whispers, quiet nudges, and unexplainable shifts that stir deep within her spirit. Sometimes it's a fleeting thought that keeps resurfacing, a sudden burst of hope that seems to come out of nowhere, or a series of circumstances aligning in a way that feels almost too perfect to be coincidental. These moments aren't random, they are signals, divine signals, that something extraordinary is on its way. Many women live their lives caught up in the hustle, the struggle, or even the mundane routines that keep them occupied, missing the signs that God is preparing to do something new. But here's the truth: God's blessings often come wrapped in signs. And recognizing these signs requires us to be spiritually alert, to tune in with our hearts, and to be willing to see beyond what's immediately visible. When you start noticing these signs, whether it's a recurring number pattern, an unexpected opportunity, or a renewed sense of purpose, you can be confident that God is speaking directly to you. He's saying, get ready, something big is about to happen. These signs are not just random occurrences, they are divine confirmations that your season of blessing is approaching. They serve as encouragement that you're on the right path, that your prayers are being heard, and that the universe is lining up in your favor. Sometimes, women get so caught up in doubt or impatience that they dismiss these signs as coincidence or mere happenstance. But those who are spiritually attuned know better. They understand that in the realm of the divine, nothing is truly accidental. Every sign, every coincidence, every unusual turn of events is part of a greater plan, a divine orchestration designed to prepare your heart and mind for what's coming. The first sign, then, is this: your life begins to reflect a sense of divine confirmation. You start noticing that things you've been praying for are subtly falling into place. Perhaps an opportunity you thought was out of reach suddenly appears, or a door that was once closed begins to open slowly. It's as if the universe is whispering, yes, this is your season. You might see small victories that remind you that God is faithful, like a breakthrough in your finances, a new connection, or a shift in your relationships that feels divinely timed. These are not mere coincidences. They are signs that your blessing is on the horizon. And then there's the second sign, an inner awakening. When God is about to bless a woman with something big, she often experiences a profound internal shift. It's a stirring within, a renewed sense of hope, purpose, or clarity that wasn't there before. Sometimes it's a quiet whisper that urges her to keep going when everything inside her feels like giving up. Other times, it's a burst of inspiration that ignites a new passion or calling. This inner awakening is a crucial sign because it signifies that your spirit is aligning with your destiny. This awakening might manifest as a desire to pursue something you've long been afraid to chase, or a sudden clarity about your true purpose. It's as if God is awakening parts of you that had been dormant, parts that are necessary for the blessings to fully manifest. When this happens, it's more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a confirmation that your spiritual and emotional readiness is increasing. The divine is preparing your heart for the blessings that are coming. You may feel a renewed sense of confidence, even in the midst of uncertainty. That's because God is planting seeds of faith deep within, reminding you that you are not alone, that He is working behind the scenes to bring about His divine plan. This internal shift also brings about a sense of peace and patience. When you recognize this awakening within, you understand that you are in the process of becoming ready to receive, to handle, and to steward what is about to come. It's a sign that the divine is moving in your favor and that your faith is being strengthened for what's ahead. You realize that your journey isn't just about waiting for blessings to fall into your lap, but about preparing your heart to receive them. It's about trusting God's timing and knowing that these signs are His way of saying, you're closer than you think. In this stage, many women find themselves caught between hope and doubt. They see the signs, but they wonder if it's real or if it's just wishful thinking. That's why it's essential to cultivate a mindset of faith, faith that sees beyond what is visible and trusts in what is unseen. Because divine signs are often imperceptible in the moment, yet they hold the power to transform how you see your journey. They remind you that even in the waiting, God is working. They encourage you to keep your eyes open and your heart attuned to the divine whispers guiding you forward. What's beautiful about these signs is that they are personalized. No two women will experience them in the exact same way, but the underlying message remains the same. Your season of blessing is approaching, and God is signaling it through these divine indicators. When you start noticing these signs, whether in your circumstances, your spirit, or your surroundings, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that the universe is lining up in your favor and that your divine blessing is near. As you begin to notice these signs, remember that they are not random. They are divine confirmations. They are God's way of saying, I am with you. I see your faith. I am preparing a blessing that will blow your mind. Recognize them, embrace them, and let them fuel your hope, because the signs are there, and they are pointing directly to you. Your season of blessing is closer than you realize. And these divine signals are the signs that you are moving into a new chapter, one filled with abundance, purpose, and divine favor. Keep your eyes open, your heart receptive, and your spirit expectant, because the best is yet to come. As you walk through the journey of faith and expectancy, you begin to notice something profound happening within. It's as if your internal world starts to shift in ways that you can't quite explain. Yet you feel them deep in your bones. You see, one of the most powerful signs that God is about to bless a woman with something big is this internal transformation, this awakening within her spirit that she is more than enough, that she is worthy of divine abundance, and that her season of breakthrough is near. It's an internal recalibration, a spiritual reset that prepares her for what's to come. And this isn't just about feeling good or having momentary hope. It's about a deep, soul-level recognition that her life is about to change, that her circumstances are about to shift, and that her divine purpose is unfolding more clearly than ever before. Many women go through life carrying wounds of self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs that keep them from fully receiving what God has prepared for them. But when God is about to bless a woman with something big, she begins to experience a shift, renewal of her mind and spirit that begins to dismantle those barriers. Suddenly, she starts to see herself through a different lens. No longer does she see herself as powerless, unworthy, or insignificant. Instead, she begins to see herself as a vessel of divine potential, a woman capable of birthing greatness, a woman who is deserving of the blessings that are coming. That internal awakening is a powerful sign because it signifies that her spirit is aligning with her destiny. It's as if her soul is awakening to the truth that she is loved, favored, and chosen. This internal shift often manifests as a renewed sense of hope, hope that refuses to be shaken, hope that persists even when circumstances seem bleak. It's a hope rooted in faith, not in what she sees, but in what she believes. When you're about to step into a season of blessing, hope becomes your anchor. It is this hope that fuels your patience and keeps you moving forward, even when the road gets tough. It's the reassurance that, despite setbacks or delays, something divine is happening behind the scenes. This hope isn't fleeting. It's a confident expectation that the best is yet to come because you've seen God do it before, and you know He's capable of doing it again. But this internal awakening goes beyond hope. It also brings about a clarity of purpose. When God is about to bless a woman with something big, she begins to gain a clearer understanding of her divine assignment. She starts to see her life through a new perspective, one that highlights her unique gifts, talents, and calling. It's as if a light has been turned on inside her, illuminating the path she's meant to walk. This clarity is essential because it helps her to focus her energy on what truly matters and to align her actions with her divine purpose. She begins to realize that her blessings are connected to her obedience, her faithfulness, and her willingness to step into her destiny. This internal transformation often triggers a series of shifts in her mindset. She stops dwelling on past mistakes, regrets, or what-ifs. Instead, she begins to see herself as a woman on the rise, a woman who is being prepared for greatness. Her confidence grows, not because she feels she has it all together, but because she recognizes that the divine is working within her. She understands that her journey isn't about perfection, but about perseverance, faith, and trust. Her internal voice shifts from doubt to declaration. I am ready. I am prepared. I am worthy of what's coming. That conviction is a sign that her spirit is aligning perfectly with her divine destiny. This awakening within also brings about a sense of peace, an unshakable knowing that even in the waiting, she is being prepared for what she has prayed for. It's an inner peace that surpasses understanding because it's rooted in divine assurance. It's the kind of peace that calms storms, quiets fears, and anchors her in the midst of uncertainty. When this peace settles within her, she no longer feels anxious or restless. Instead, she walks confidently, knowing that everything is working together for her good. Her heart is open, her mind is clear, and her spirit is receptive to divine guidance. In this space, she begins to see that her internal transformation is not just about her personal growth, but also about her readiness to handle the blessing. God is not just about giving us what we want, but also about shaping us into the women who can steward those blessings well. When she notices this inner shift, she understands that she's in a vital phase of preparation, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. She's being refined, strengthened, and equipped for what's to come. That internal awakening is a sign that she is on the cusp of a breakthrough, and her soul is awakening to her divine identity. This realization is empowering because it shifts her from a passive observer of life to an active participant in her destiny. She begins to embrace her worth, her potential, and her divine right to receive abundance. She recognizes that God is doing a new thing within her, and she begins to partner with that process by cultivating a mindset of faith and expectancy. Her internal world becomes a fertile ground for miracles to take root because she's no longer waiting in doubt or fear, but standing in confident anticipation. This internal shift is a sign that her season of blessing is imminent, that she's aligning with divine timing, and that she's preparing herself to receive what she's been praying for. As she continues to grow in this internal awakening, she begins to radiate a new confidence, an unshakable belief that what's coming will be bigger than anything she's ever imagined. Her inner world is becoming a sanctuary of hope, faith, and purpose. She starts to see herself as a woman who is favored, chosen, and loved by God, and that perspective changes everything. Her confidence grows, her faith deepens, and her spirit remains steadfast, knowing that her blessing is on its way. All these internal signs are whispers from heaven that her season of abundance is near, that divine favor is upon her, and that her life is about to change forever. The internal transformation isn't just a feeling, it's a divine confirmation that the blessings are aligning inside her, around her, and in her circumstances. When you notice this awakening within, you can rest assured that the divine hand is moving, shaping, and preparing everything for a divine manifestation. This internal shift is your signal that your season of blessing is not just a possibility, but a certainty. Your heart is awakening, your purpose is clarifying, and your hope is anchoring you in faith for what's to come. You are becoming the woman ready to receive, to steward, and to celebrate the abundant blessings that await. The internal signs are unmistakable. Your spirit is aligning with divine promise, and the best is yet to come. When you begin to see the signs, feel the internal awakening, and sense that something divine is stirring within, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of anticipation. But what truly separates women on the verge of a blessing from those who experience it fully is their ability to remain rooted in patience and unwavering faith, even when the manifestation seems delayed. Patience isn't merely about waiting. It's about how you wait, how you conduct yourself during the waiting period, and whether you choose to trust God's timing over your own understanding. Patience is a testament to your trust in divine sovereignty, a declaration that you believe the universe is working behind the scenes on your behalf, even when you can't see it with your physical eyes. Many women struggle with patience because they've been conditioned to believe that everything should happen instantly, an expectation that the moment they pray, the answer should arrive. But real faith teaches us that some blessings are cultivated in the waiting. They are grown in the soil of trust, watered by prayer, nourished by hope, and guarded by perseverance. When you're in that space, it's essential to understand that delays are not denials. Sometimes divine delays are actually divine detours, rerouting us away from what could harm us or toward what we're truly meant to receive. It's about recognizing that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with your timeline. Patience is also about cultivating resilience. When you're trusting God for something big, setbacks and disappointments may try to shake your confidence. But patience reminds you that every setback is a setup for a comeback. It's a divine reset, an opportunity to grow stronger, to deepen your faith, and to develop character that can handle the blessings when they arrive. Patience is not passive, it's active. It's an intentional choice to stay committed to your faith walk, even when the road feels long or uncertain. It's about holding on to hope in the midst of despair, knowing that the divine hand is still at work, orchestrating everything for your good. In those moments of waiting, it's vital to guard your heart against doubt and discouragement. The enemy often tries to whisper lies that your prayers aren't being heard, that God has forgotten you, or that your blessing isn't coming. But patience is a shield that deflects those lies. Patience is trusting that the promise you received in prayer is on its way, even if it's taking longer than you hoped. It's about reaffirming your faith daily, declaring that God's timing is perfect and that His plans are for your good. When you choose patience, you are aligning yourself with divine purpose and positioning yourself to receive with open hands and a joyful heart. Patience also teaches us humility. Sometimes we want blessings because we believe we deserve them or because we've earned them through our efforts. But patience reminds us that blessings are a gift, that act of divine grace. They aren't earned through works, but are given out of love, mercy, and divine timing. Humbly waiting allows us to acknowledge that we are not in control, that we are dependent on a higher power, and that our role is to trust and obey while we wait. When you embrace patience, you surrender the illusion of control and align yourself with divine sovereignty, knowing that what is meant for you will come at the right time, in the right way. Patience also cultivates gratitude. When you're willing to wait, you learn to appreciate what you have right now. Gratitude becomes a posture of the heart, shifting your focus from what's missing to what's already present. It's easy to overlook your blessings when you're in a rush for more. But patience teaches you to celebrate the small victories, the little signs, and the divine whispers along the way. Gratitude in the waiting period is a powerful act of faith, acknowledging that God's goodness is present even before the full manifestation of your blessing. As you cultivate gratitude, you invite more of God's favor into your life because you're acknowledging His provision in every season. The process of waiting with patience is also about developing spiritual maturity. It's about growing in your understanding that God's plans are higher than your plans, and His ways are not always immediately clear. Maturity means trusting beyond what you see, believing beyond what is tangible, and remaining steady when everything around you seems unstable. It means holding on to your faith even when your circumstances are screaming otherwise. When you choose patience, you are choosing to grow into the woman God has called you to be. One who can handle the weight of blessings, the responsibility of abundance, and the grace of divine timing. Patience is also about learning to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. Sometimes women get so focused on the promise that they forget to savor the process. They become impatient for the breakthrough and miss the lessons, relationships, and divine encounters happening along the way. Patience allows us to see that every step, every delay, and every moment of waiting is an integral part of our story. It's in these moments that we develop endurance, character, and a deeper intimacy with God. Patience reminds us that the journey itself is sacred, and every phase is preparing us for what's to come. When you understand that divine delays are part of a greater purpose, you can shift your perspective from frustration to faith-filled anticipation. You can see the waiting season as a time of preparation, refinement, and divine alignment. It's a season where your faith is being stretched, your character is being strengthened, and your capacity to steward blessings is being cultivated. Patience is a sign that you trust the process, that you believe in divine timing, and that you are willing to wait on the Lord with joy and hope. It's a testament to your faith that even when circumstances seem delayed, your heart remains steadfast, knowing that the best is still yet to come. Moving into the space of patience, you realize that waiting is not passive but an act of active trust. It's about choosing to believe that God's promises are yes and amen, and that His timing is perfect. It's about holding on to hope with both hands, even when the road is long or the night feels dark. Patience teaches you that perseverance is part of the process, and that endurance produces strength, character, and a deeper trust in divine provision. When patience becomes your posture, you become unshakable, knowing that your divine blessing is not just a possibility, but a certainty rooted in divine faithfulness. You learn to wait well, to wait expectantly, and to rejoice in the journey, knowing that with every passing day, you are closer to the manifestation of what God has promised. The waiting season, when embraced with patience, becomes a fertile ground for growth, for faith to deepen, and for divine blessings to be fully realized in your life. As you lean into patience, you also embrace the importance of persistence. Sometimes the divine delay is an invitation to keep going, to keep praying, to keep believing even when it feels like nothing is changing. Persistence isn't about pushing God or forcing circumstances. It's about standing firm in faith, refusing to give up, and trusting that your perseverance is shaping you for what's next. Persistence means showing up every day with a renewed commitment to your dreams, your purpose, and your divine promises. It's about cultivating a spirit of resilience that refuses to be defeated by temporary setbacks. When you persist in faith, you demonstrate your unwavering trust that God's timing is perfect and that nothing can stop what He has ordained for your life. Persistence is also about refusing to settle or accept less than what God has promised. It's about holding out for divine best, even when the enemy whispers that it's not possible or that you've waited long enough. Persistence keeps your faith alive and active, reminding you that the victory is already secured and that the delay is only a part of divine preparation. It's about having a determined heart that says, I will not give up, I will not settle, I will keep believing. When you combine patience with persistence, you position yourself to receive the full measure of God's goodness and divine timing. Patience and persistence together create a powerful synergy. They teach you that waiting is an active process, one that requires faith, resilience, and unwavering trust. They remind you that divine delays are not denials, but part of a divine orchestration that is working all things together for your good. When you remain patient and persistent, you declare that you trust God's plan, that you believe in His promises, and that you are committed to seeing His divine purpose fulfilled in your life. The journey might be long, but it's worth every step because it's shaping you into the woman who is ready to receive the fullness of what God has prepared. Your faith is being tested, strengthened, and refined during these moments. And when the divine timing aligns, you'll find yourself standing in the overflow of blessings that were always meant for you. The waiting, the patience, and the persistence are all part of the process that leads to your divine breakthrough.